One way is to offer security interest in intangible assets, such as intellectual property, in the form of patent, trademarks, and copyright. Now you see the reason why you do that copyright, and you get that copyright certificate and you add it as a collateral. Asset securitization, the practice of converting an asset or a stream of cash flow into marketable securities, is well known in the finance industry because there's always different sides to the equation. While you're doing one thing on the offense, you must comprehend the defense simultaneously. And usually you'll realize that they're both intertwined and blended so well that there really isn't much of a difference. There are many reasons to use intellectual property. Intellectual property, meaning intangible, non-physical property, as collateral. I wonder what else has that phrase collateral in it. Could it be this form that everyone knows? UCC1 financing statement, collateral. Do you see the reason why you list the copyright as a collateral in the non-UCC? This is why I started the video by telling you, if no one ever told you the reason why you're adding a copyright or UCC that's attached to that as legas and all the other sequence of algorithms and numbers attached to it that you're authenticating one way or the other, if no one ever told you that, look, you're not just meant to be a defendant in a turtle shell saying, I'm going to stay here and no one can crack my shell. All right. They're going to throw boulders at you and crack that shell. You need to move. You need to use your ability. And besides playing turtle, this UCC and this copyright thing of ins ligas is not limited to you playing defense. There are many reasons to use intellectual property as... Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back. Securitization of trademark. If anyone up to this point has not introduced to you the purpose of why you do a copyright or a formal trademark or a DBA or any form of intellectual property, being taken one way or the other to be protected through a paper asset, meaning on pen and paper, as aforementioned, copyright, trademark, DBA, which, by the way, they're all under the same bowl and the same family of protection of property right. If anyone has never told you that all those different means of property protection and the right that goes with it, whether it be corporeal or incorporeal, whether it be intellectual or not, particularly relating to this thing called ins ligas and every other derivatives attached to it. The main reason why you have the ability to talk trash, and the main reason why, as far as I'm concerned, you are copyrighting, trademarks, patenting, or securing your property through any other means is so that you can securitize it. Were you aware that you can securitize intellectual properties? And even in the case of you being a defendant that was mentioned in the UCC for court cases, this video, it's on the website. The reason why you're really able to do that is also because of what we're about to speak of here. And as a side note, whenever you see any forms, whether it be on a state, county, or even an IRS level, where they ask for the entity name, and then almost immediately after that, they ask you, do you have a DBA? If you ever pay attention with all these entities forms, they would always ask you right after the entity's name, do you have a DBA, doing business as name, with the bank or any other entity? Let's just take the well-known SS4 form that can be used to obtain different types of EIN. This is what I mean. They ask you for the legal name, and then right next to that, the second box says trade name, if different from the first. This trade name is also the same as a DBA. This trade name is also the trademark, the mark attached to the legal entity. It's also the intellectual interest that can come in form of copyright, or as mentioned, the DBA. The reason why they ask you these things in all these forms, this is just one example, which is one of the IRS forms, is because there's a monetary and intellectual value to whatever this name is on top, or whoever the holder is of that trade name, which is demonstrated through a DBA. The value is based on the fact that that can be an intellectual property, and that intellectual property can be securitized. Before we go into the securitization of intellectual property, trademarks, copyright, DBA, and more, what is securitization? So this is why I started the video by telling you, if no one ever told you the reason why you're adding a copyright or UCC that's attached to that as legal, and all the other sequence of algorithms and numbers attached to it that you're authenticating one way or the other, if no one ever told you that, look, you're not just meant to be a defendant in a turtle shell saying, I'm going to stay here and no one can crack my shell. All right. They're going to throw boulders at you and crack that shell. You need to move. You need to use your ability. And besides playing turtle, this UCC and this copyright thing of ins legis is not limited to you playing defense. There are many reasons to use intellectual property as collateral with 3 agents, some legalized bank robberies, where it's power, agriculture, real estate, research, and development. This research and development is the same thing they call education in layman's term. Without research and
the complete 30-minute video has been posted on the Patreon page. Take care. Best of luck.